Well, that's good. That means you're on vacation. All right. We are live on YouTube as well. So I'm excited that we get to get going tonight. And we're on session number 7. So good. So I decided that tonight our topic would be on activity selection. And it kind of goes with a few things that actually Leah and I were just chatting about because life happens and you go on vacation and different things, like you sleep in a different bed and you start going for hikes, or there's another person in our group who is decluttering, and of course, that takes a lot of physical energy. Or if you're in a renovation, like someone else I know, right? So all of these things are important, and so we're going to talk a little bit more about that, and you all can ask questions or give your 2 cents and so on. But I'm really enjoying this picture. So yeah, it's beautiful.
Very pretty.
Yeah, that's for you guys. Okay, let's see here. All right.
I like the picture on the app.
You like that?
I was a little disappointed when you said no.
Oh, I know. Okay, so for those that don't know, I said that Ryan Reynolds was not going to be joining our call tonight, so that was really sad. But I hope that you all would come. Oh, Ryan. All right. Okay. Hey, Leah, and I know Donna did this, but did you do the fitness style tactics quiz? Did you do that?
I did. I did it today.
Fantastic. How'd that go? What did you learn?
You know what? I'm just listening to the videos and that. I'd already actually figured out myself. So when I did the thing, it came back exactly what I figured.
That's fantastic.
About it.
Oh, that's exciting. So it matched up. So my little programming worked.
Yeah, for sure.
I know, like in talking with Donna and Tracy when they did it, it nailed them, right?
Yeah, nailed it. Resonated for sure.
Yeah. And so what kinds of things, because there was a bunch of create strategies that do this and that, all the recommendations. So was there some insight that you guys got from thinking about those recommendations that maybe you hadn't thought of?
The recommendations. Did I not go far enough? I saw the 4 squares that showed me the 4 times.
Then you didn't go far enough. So when you open it up again,
okay,
you will, let's just see if I can get there. Hold on. Let's see if I can get there.
Well, I can go back and look. It's just I didn't realize that there was, that's kind of cool if there's going to be that.
Okay, hold on. I got to get this back on my screen. Okay. Okay, so I was actually just catching up on my own stuff here. Let's see here. And I move things around. So that's that fitness style tactics. So we're doing the quiz. All right, fantastic. It didn't recognize. Okay. Anyway, so I don't have mine filled in. That's fine. But when you go to the results, you have all of the different.
4 times, yeah.
Yep. And so when you click the picture, there's actually information here. So.
I'm done.
Yeah, you're done. Okay, so now, can you remember what one would you be? Were you variable?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
Oh.
Trailblazer, motivated, foundational, and stable.
All right, fantastic. Okay, so for example, if we go to stable, right, you feel better when you are confident in balance and doing things properly. You like to know your schedule, and you take care of any bumps and bruises as soon as you can. You do well with strategies and plans that keep your progress steady. So create strategies that maintain consistency. Having a good plan that reaches your desired destination is critical. Make sure that you are pointed in the right direction, and you will get there because you know how to stick to the plan. So I would add.
That's good. If I wait till I feel like it, I'll do it once a month. That's what I've been doing for like years.
So yeah, and this is where I think that you were connecting really well with the flags, the strategy flags for your calendar, because you can't control everything in life. And if you are this stable, if you need the stability, and I think maybe Donna, you might have been in, I can't remember, but you must have what your backup plan is, right? So that the backup plan creates the stability. Okay. And because if your life kind of takes over and things change and then you no longer have stability, that's why you can't stick to a fitness plan, because it goes out the window.
Right.
But if you know, okay, well, this happened in my life, but I am, I know what I'm going to do instead. So okay, actually, can you come here for a second? So my daughter just walked in the door and she brought me a sign because she knew I was talking. But you have to see this.
What does it say?
You sound like a
Pro.
It's so true. It's so true.
Yes. Thank you.
You're going through and you're like, this, and it's
Yeah.
like, look at this.
Look at this. She's
Cheerleader.
so I've at least impressed my daughter. So that just is all that counts. my awesome daughter, who is my softball coach. I gotta
Sure.
brag a little bit that she identified something that I was doing that I could change to improve how I was throwing, and it made like an instant difference. And
Wow.
no one else told me that in my life, and she saw it and she did it.
Sure did.
And I had to
love it.
yeah, I had to catch last night, which I don't want to catch, like be a catcher, because anyway, in softball, the ball like hits the plate and then it rolls. So she didn't know this, I didn't know this, but we had worked on grounders like this. And basically I had to do it the whole night. So it was kind of ironic. So, just in time training is what happened with that. Yeah. All right. So that's fantastic. Okay. So, hopefully that kind of helps that. Well, and also knowing that you have that. But if you're looking through these little comments, like they're generic comments, but they'll be helpful for you. And if you want to have specific conversations, like bring it up. This is where we're chatting about it to help you kind of go, oh, so that's why this happened in my life so many times.
Uh-huh.
And I understand this is all heavy on the theory a lot at the beginning, and that's fine as long as you stay on track with, okay, the learnings is critical and the moving is critical, but we can't do just moving without this learning, because if you're only going to move without the learning, you're going to kind of trip yourself up when things don't happen as you expected. And this momentum that is going to happen, it's slow at the beginning. And I found, even talking with Tracy about the whole thing, is that I talked to Tracy last fall, and now she feels like she's got momentum, right? But it took that amount of time. And so some days you're not like prepared to mentally do the mental work of it, but that doesn't mean you give up on the physical. So we're gonna,
Yeah.
yep, go ahead.
That's good. No. That's good.
All right, as long as so knowing your style and having that conversation and really like taking the time for that. See, I taught in the gym for 8 in another gym, 18, so 19 years, something like that. And then also online with the girls softball team and so on. And so my fitness was basically fairly steady. But I had people relying on me. I had to know what I was talking about. I had to study. Those were things that were really like important for me. So yes, I'm a party animal. Yeah, yes, actually, I like basic information. If it's too confusing, I will not do it. Right? I went and did axe throwing. And I said to the guy who was teaching, I said, I don't throw very well and you need to coach me really well. And one comment that was just like rude, he was just rude. That was it. And I walked off because I'm not doing it. Like you cannot be, like you must be my cheerleader. That's what I know. You must be my cheerleader and you must explain it in a way that I can get it. So my daughter, Carly, who is very, very kind to me and says, Mom, I think you're bending your wrist and you need to just keep your hands straighter when you throw. And all of a sudden that worked. Like it was just a simple thing, but it was kind and it was like basic and it made sense. And there's a level of trust. And so if someone is just going to be that army sergeant, drill, 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 you didn't do it like that. That is not working if you don't have that foundational point. But then on the other side, maybe there's people that they already know it. They got it. They got good movement. And so they're just lazy about it. So then they need that drill sergeant. Great. Then you better be signed up for a boot camp, right? And I don't know, like if you're trying to figure out what you can do for yourself to get the best out of your own momentum.
And I found your comment in one of the videos about finding your motivation, or maybe it was in one of the style ones, but talking about, like, for me, music's huge. And that was one of the ways that I got into when I was doing walking a couple of years ago. It was all, I put on Glee every time because it's upbeat and it's fun and I think of the shows, so it's interesting for me. And I could do it any day because I knew I was going to listen to music. Exactly. If I just had to walk, I didn't want to go because I actually really don't like exercise for exercise. It has to be a side part of it.
100%. And I said this in the daily lifts. I don't know. I don't think you got that far, but last week was the daily lifts. And one of the points was actually music. And it was like, my husband has put together a playlist on that, and you can listen to his playlist. And you probably like it. It's quite fun. But I know, and I said this to his trainer, and we were having this conversation. I said, if he had to work out and no music was allowed, he could not. Like it just is an impossibility. And this was the reason that we did so well with our programming at the gym, was the music was good. Like it was, you wouldn't have done that if that music wasn't in line and matching. Now, to me, it was a little over the top because like every single beat was choreographed, and that's good. But at the same time, it doesn't allow for freedom if you can't do that particular move at that particular moment. Right. So it's a blanketed kind of class. And so then if you don't fit that like range, then you just didn't feel as successful, or you would injure yourself, or this or that or the other thing. So, knowing yourself, knowing that music is really it's amazing. So keep going with that. All right. So when you're selecting it, we know we talked about this before, is working your calendar. One of the things that when we're selecting so this is about selecting your activity, is if you have a commitment on a weekly basis, I would suggest you add that. So even if it's, I'm going swimming, and it's Monday, so therefore every Monday I'm going swimming, you make that as a commitment. And it doesn't have to be like huge, but I think that a lot of times if we don't even add that just like one time, it's we have a lot of excuses. So for me, playing softball, it's a commitment that I have to kind of work my week around. And the cat is being very interested in what we're talking about right now. So I don't know if you can see that because he's black on black. But honestly, if I don't plan, the problem is if I get too upset with a cat, the dog will attack the cat because the dog feels the need to protect me at all times and from the annoyance of the cat. Anyway, and then she will bark very loudly. Okay, so in order for me to be successful during the softball game, which I'm committed to on a weekly basis, I kind of have to plan my week around that. So I know that on Wednesday after Tuesday night, I should not be planning the day at the gym or the rower, right? So because I'm like literally today I was like too tired. And because I was doing that in the heat, I had a headache this morning because I didn't have enough water. I didn't know I didn't have enough water, but in the morning I had a headache, so I knew that was a problem, right? So I would suggest think about what you could commit to on a weekly basis, even if it's only of yourself. If you are a trailblazer, commit to yourself. If you are a party animal, then make that commitment to something else. So are you going to go play pickleball? Are you going to go for the walk with a friend? What else are you going to do? And just at least one time in the week, make a weekly commitment.
I think that's why I had set a goal of swimming because I thought, it's summer and all that kind of stuff. Now I have way maxed that out this week because I was at a cottage and it was easy. But in the city, I wasn't making it because I hadn't passed that go to a rec center or find a person who wants me to come every week to swim. So I'm either waiting on an invitation or feeling anxious about going to a new place. So it's one of those things that I got to get over that hurdle if that's going to be my goal kind of thing.
Exactly. And the schedule and the calendar can help with that. So what's a convenient location and a convenient time for you that then you could commit to? Like just identify that. Like and I know maybe in your mind you'd like to go swimming 3 times a week, but don't commit to that. Go commit to one. And then if you make it a few other times, so be it. Right? So that's, weekly commit. So that's maybe a new concept for today. Your strategy flags, just again, revisit that and go, okay, so when I'm choosing my activities, if I feel good, I'm doing these things. If I have time, I'm doing those things. If I don't have time, I'm doing some other things. So you're choosing your activity, taking into consideration what you've already identified as the white flag, the green flag, the red flag, and the deal breakers.
Yeah.
Do you have an idea of what you would choose as your activity, given that kind of flow chart?
Me?
Yeah, sure, if you have an idea.
My activity almost always is walking and Pilates in the morning, but it's not every day yet. It's getting closer and closer, but it's not there every day yet. And it's because I'm in the middle of a rental, so
yeah. But it doesn't have to be every day either, though, right?
No, I know, but
you would like it to be every day. I get it.
I would like it to be, but right now my activity is like running up and down the stairs, purging, shopping, literally, new towels and this and that, and the things you do in a rental. So yeah. I am on my feet the last 2 weeks, every day, all day, almost.
Yep.
But I'm not, that's all I don't mean that's all I'm doing, but that's what I'm doing.
But you need to recognize that that's what you're doing.
Are you counting and tracking some of that, Donna?
Pardon?
Sorry, are you counting and tracking some of that? Like you could track how many times you go up and down the stairs.
Yeah, I literally have not had time to track in the lot. I was tracking and doing well, and then I was like, I don't have time to track. I have time to do this and fall into bed and get up the next morning and do it again, kind of thing. So I haven't been tracking it.
Does either of you have like some Fitbit or counter? No. Okay.
Do you, Leah? Leah, when you
No.
talk, because
No, I
my
don't.
sound doesn't work, I'll have to
Oh,
put
sorry.
it
I
up to
can
my ear
here. Look. I'll put it.
because it echoes. So that's why I'm sorry.
You're
When I
good.
talk to you, all you can see is my hair, I'm sure.
Okay, so but here's what I would say to you is that you could even estimate and you know what your day was like. Like even if you don't want to do it right away in the app, fine. If you have like a little notepad somewhere and just like go, I really did a lot of shopping today. You can say, you could just even add like 20 minutes, even if it was an hour, it doesn't really matter. It's the point to recognize for yourself that you are doing those things.
Yeah.
Right. And decluttering
I
or
find it encouraging. Like it makes me feel like I want to do more. Because when I get to feeling like for days that I haven't done anything, then it's like the ball stops rolling. I get down on myself. So if I actually put in on those days, like I was saying I hadn't done anything, and then Sarah had said, well, I saw you singing in church. I'm sure that, you were standing there for 2 hours. I'm sure you did that on Thursday as well. I was kind of like, well, yeah, actually I am on my feet for all that time. So it was something to put down.
Exactly. And you have to take into consideration all of that stuff because again, if it's not something that motivates you, then maybe it doesn't matter. But for most people, it is motivating. And again, you have to figure out what's hard about it. Is it getting in the app and pushing the buttons? Then okay, then don't do that. Just get a piece of paper. Like who cares? But remind yourself, for me, so literally the last 10 days, I didn't put anything in the tracker. However, I've been trying to wear my Fitbit because I know that gives me enough information. So then I can put it in the tracker. In the Fitbit, it's too much. Okay. I don't necessarily recommend a wearable for everybody because it tells you too much information and it asks you too much. And then you're like, oh, do I have to count all my calories? And so then you spend an hour trying to figure it out when you could be doing something else. So
I can recommend 2 other things that are really cool.
Yeah, what's that?
I have Optimetry. It's just an app that tracks your steps, and it's on your phone.
Yeah.
You can actually, it used to be called Carrot, I think.
Yeah.
And you can actually get, if you want, I haven't actually done this part of it, but you can get gift cards and stuff like that for your number of steps that you do. And it just tells you every day. Like I just checked mine now and I did 2,000 steps or whatever today. Because today was, a swimming day. I didn't do a lot of walking, but I did some. So
Yeah.
getting there and back and up and down those stairs. I'll tell you, there's probably about 40 stairs to get there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Perfect.
And the other one, I'll have to look it up. But it's a really cool one because you choose a country and it tracks again with your phone, your steps. And when you finish, you get a medal. They mail you a medal. You have to pay for that one.
Wow,
so
that's awesome.
A couple times just to make myself walk.
Yeah.
But they're really cool medals.
That's a really great point. Yeah. Just like a regular pedometer even, but honestly, everybody's got their phone. So put an app on there and stick it in your pocket. And then you do have record. I know that I have my Google location on and it will tell me, oh, you went 60 kilometers this month on a low emission. So I'm like, okay, so if I'm going on a bike or if I'm walking or something like that. So you don't think of it in and of itself, but again, the point of what we're trying to do with our One Goal Fitness is just to keep it simple, right? So just whatever method you use, keep it simple for yourself so that you have that, that ability to track and you can see the progress. Body awareness. How you feeling? How your hips? How your knees? How the feet? How's the back? All of those things. You got to figure out.
My knees are so bad from the stairs. like I avoid stairs in my daily life, and I can't here because our rooms are up on the second floor. It's stairs down to the path, stairs down to the lake. So I am feeling the stairs.
Okay. You're feeling the stairs and you cannot avoid them. So
No.
you have to figure out, what can I do when I'm doing the stairs to help myself be better? So I'm going to tell you right now, activate before you do it. At some point in your day, get your hips moving, get your squats in. Because if you get your squats in, the glutes will fire up better. Think about what's happening when you're walking up the stairs. You want the big muscle to take the work. So if you let your knee, where's my knee? Okay, so if my knee is angled, like that's 90-degree knee. So if I go up the stairs, it's going to have that angle to it. I need my butt cheek to be holding myself. So if my knee goes forward over my toe instead of being in this position where my butt cheek is taking the work, then all my body weight sits in my knee. Does that, I know this is like my hands, so it doesn't really make a lot of sense, but that's where you go back to your muscle library. I talk about that in the squat. Even if you just watch the squat and don't do the squat track, but you watch it, it will make sense to you. So when you're walking up and down your stairs, if you think about bracing in the middle and squeezing your butt, your knees will hurt less.
Okay.
Yeah. So
yeah, I don't think about that usually, so that helps.
Right. And you're going to have to kind of play around with it, but you think about what is causing the knee pain. Well, all of the body weight above your kneecap and up, if that's sitting in your joint, how is that great for your joint? It's just not. You want all of that body weight sitting in a muscle. So is it your quad and your glute? If it's taken in on your core, obviously your feet have to hold you up and your calf has to hold you up, but you want as much work sitting in the bigger muscles as you can have. There. Do I still sound professional?
That's that one, because I was a little worried about squats.
No, please.
I was a little worried about that. So.
Yeah, please don't worry about squats. The trick is that you go less depth. Okay, less depth. And if you avoid squats, it will just add to your problems.
Fair enough.
If you say, okay, say your doctor says, okay, Leah, we're going to do a knee replacement. Let's just say things have gotten bad. Let's replace your knee. Guess what's going to happen? You're going to have to prepare for that surgery. And part of that preparation is squats.
Really?
Really?
So why the heck would you not do the squats before the surgery is required, before the prep for the surgery is required? And guess what? You might even avoid the surgery. How do I know this? My father-in-law had a knee replacement, saw the booklet. My mother had knee replacement, saw the booklet. I have two father-in-laws. My other father-in-law just got told he has 2 knee replacements due. He's 80. He doesn't want to do them. Why? Because he likes to work on the dock and he needs to kneel. And if you have your knee replaced, you can't kneel on your knees. So this is kind of an issue. So he's like, I don't know. And I was doing a little bit more research for him. I'm like, dude, like I said, do some squats. And so I think I got his attention, but I'm talking from watching all the parents have struggles. And also, by the way, my mother-in-law had her hip replaced and she was a very, very good girl. She did all of her exercises religiously several times a day. And you can't believe, like, honestly, it's like she took 10 years off of her life. Like she's moving, like it's beautiful. But because she listened to me And she listened to me because she watched her husband kind of listen. Not really.
Yeah.
Sort of. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, that's some information there. So, but if you're afraid of anything that I'm talking about, that's where you need to ask some more questions. Because fear is not, it's not what the outcome is that we want. Right? We want to feel confident. And if there's always an option, there's always a way to do it without feeling afraid. So we just have to figure that out. All right. What else we got? Click. Oh, so the workout flow option. So, like you've heard workflow. So if you think about that chart with this is the action. And if this happens, do that. If that happens, do the other thing. So that kind of matches the strategy flags. So also putting everything together, right? To say, okay, so I know I have commitments, I have flags, I know how I'm feeling. So if I just take a piece of paper and I write out kind of what my goals are, and then taking consideration of all of these extra things, it might be heavy at first, but I guarantee it will help you, right? It'll help you make up your backup plans. Promise me? You're gonna think about it? Again, you know what? Even thinking about it is good enough. Okay. We're going to celebrate success regularly. That's another thing. So, hey, I made it another day. And you're going to tell your cheerleaders. I don't know if I'm going to turn it this way. Tell your who is your cheerleader? Do you have one?
You guys.
Yeah, I was going to say, not really.
Well, yeah. So we got to figure out who your cheerleader is, right? So if it's me, I'm very happy to be your cheerleader. I'm good with that. I'll tell you right now that my daughter is my cheerleader. You can tell. But I didn't know that until kind of recently. So I've been her cheerleader, so she's reciprocating. Okay, fine. But my other two daughters, they're not my cheerleaders. And the reason that it took me until I was age 50 to even think about playing softball has everything to do with those other people that were not my cheerleaders. Okay. And in fact, last night, somebody thought it was funny to kind of tease me a bit about something. I was almost in the car. Like I literally was like, I told you need to be nice to me. And you cannot tease me. Otherwise, I'm out. And if I'm out, then you forfeit the game. So what do you want to do? I got a little violent, in my mind. I was like, don't do that.
Yeah.
But should I be self-conscious and nervous about playing softball? Do you guys think I should be?
No.
Good for you. You're my hero.
No, but I'm telling you right now, it scares me. I don't like it. It's not comfortable. It's risky. I feel like an idiot. And literally, I threw the ball so bad at the beginning. And I had to, I was catcher, so I had to keep throwing the ball back. And it was embarrassing because I was so terrible the first 5 throws. And then it kind of, you settle down. But terrible, right? So
that's why I never played baseball. Because everyone's looking at me, and if I'm going to swing that bat, everyone's going to see it. Whereas if I play basketball, there's a bunch of people out there.
Right. Right. So the only other way is to have a team full of cheerleaders. That's the only other way.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So whatever you're choosing to do, make sure that you got cheerleaders, and if you don't have any, find some. And even if you have to be your own cheerleader, you're going to congratulate yourself positively. Okay. Yay, Leah, you're swimming. Yay, Leah, you're walking the stairs. Yay, Donna! You're doing your cleaning and Pilates and walking, and look at you all go! Yay! Like, you have to do that, right? Because nobody sees everything that you do, and they don't they don't care, right? And it's not that they don't love you; it's not, you understand.
I think the family's getting more on board with being a little bit more supportive. Like the other day, it was sort of raining here at the cottage. We went into Halliburton, did our shopping or whatever, and then it was clearing. And I know people want to go back to swim, but I've been wanting to hike this sculpture park that's up at Sir Sanford Fleming here.
Yeah.
And I was really excited about it. And so nobody really wanted to, except me.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But, in the end, they came with me. And that was really good. And I think it was really just them trying to honor the fact that I'm trying to do more, that they did come. And, in the end, my daughter moped the entire way and was miserable. But
she went. Yeah.
And, I know that my son who's a teenager, he really tried to take an interest in it. And I know that it was only because of me. Like, he really had no desire to be there at all. But, so I guess in that way, they're kind of cheerleaders, reluctant cheerleaders, but they're getting there.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, you know what? And like, even no matter who it is, there's a family culture and a family dynamic that is at a homeostasis, like that spot where it doesn't want to change. And if you're changing, it's going to resist until you change enough, and then eventually it'll come together and it'll be a new normal. But it doesn't happen overnight. And I think a lot of times we want it to be like instant. Oh, I'm going to get fit and everybody's on board. It won't be that way. It's not that way. It doesn't work like that. And I'm not saying that it will never work. It will eventually work, but you got to figure it out, right? The very first time my husband and I were on the ball diamond was this week. He's coached everybody and their uncle and their kid and everybody else, never me.
Yeah.
And we were talking about batting, and it was this week, and he gave me some great tips, and it really worked. But it was the first time that happened. So can you really think about that level of that? Like, my eldest daughter, when she was 7, started playing baseball, softball, and she's 22, 23, almost 23. And him and I had never played. Right. And he, first time, was like giving me batting practice. So, right. Anyway, so congratulations. Yeah. This is, I don't know if anyone has said this, but find your success in the failure. Have you heard that before?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Because sometimes we think, oh, I failed, but it's never 100%. Right? Even if it's 25% success, 75% failure, there's still 25% success. So try to find that.
Yeah.
And I think without you reaching out and saying, hope to see you this week, I probably would have failed. It had been 2 weeks between the kids being sick and so much going on even the weeks before.
Mm-hmm.
I probably would have just left.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you're here. And I think that you're glad that you came, because it's encouraging, right?
It is.
Yeah. And
So,
yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, so what we say here, is it on YouTube?
But nobody has access to it. But
Okay.
yes, so if you don't say it out loud, if you don't want to, you can tell me when I go offline.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I don't mind telling you, Leah. I still want to tell the world.
No, okay. I'll close off and then you can tell us. Okay, so just we're almost there.
Yeah, it's nothing big. But
Yeah. No, but don't say it. Yeah.
something I don't understand.
Okay. No. Oh yeah. No worries. Remember this goal activation? Go back and revisit your goal activation also, because if you set a goal,
Mhm.
you either failed or you succeeded, even if it's the first one, or if you say I didn't reach it, but you didn't reach it yet, okay, so then I'm finding my success and I'm still working on it, right? So you go back and you go, okay, what else do I have to do? What else can I fix? How can I think about this differently? And when I'm selecting my activity, maybe I just need to change my attitude about this. Maybe I need to change my schedule about that. Okay. So
That's a good point. The yet.
yeah.
I didn't do it yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we're pretty harsh on ourselves, like mentally, you know?
I think that's the biggest problem. Literally, that's the biggest problem. And again, this is why it's so hard to go through our first 3 modules. It's hard. It sucks, but you have to do it so that you can get a little progress and then you realize you got that progress. Like you have to do that hard bit, because otherwise we can go do a workout together, and for the 30 minutes, 60 minutes that we're doing that workout, it means nothing if it's not a pattern.
Yeah.
All right, that was a good point. Yay, Sarah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a good point. It was a good point, because frankly, I would like to just get on with it and just go do a workout.
I know.
But I know that that's not the best. It's a good thing, but it's not the best thing, whole big picture.
Right. And listen, I would love to put this teaching as module number 1, but it wouldn't work.
Yep.
Okay. All right. There we go. Something new. What's new? I don't know. Up and down the stairs, squeezing your butt. I don't know. Go play something else. Like, I don't know, shuffleboard. I don't know. Pick something new. I think
What does it say?
plan something new. So like last week we talked about, Tracy was talking about 3, she decided in her mind she would do 3 different activities. And the other Tracy was like, that's a really good idea. And so, okay, so good. And then, one of them said, okay, I think I'm going to play some volleyball with my son. All right. Sounds good. Right. Like it's just something new that you wouldn't normally do. Take a risk, do something. Somebody asked you to do something. Go on the rower. I would never be on a rower. Okay, fine. We got a rower. All right, let's go. Right. Something new. All right.
I find that harder.
Of course it is. That's why I told you to do it, because it is harder.
He doesn't care.
Well, I don't. But that's why I say it. I mean, it's like, yeah, I didn't know. It's I don't care. Well, like it's change. Change sucks. Change is hard. Do you know how many people and how many years they asked me to play softball at the church?
Yeah, interesting. Yeah.
4 years?
Yeah.
Because they assumed that I could play, because my kids play. They did assume that, and I kept going, I can't play. And, whatever. And even like Tim, this spring he asked me, and I said, you don't want me on your team, I can't throw. And then Bradley asked me again, and I was like, oh. But Bradley had asked me like the year before and the year before that. I was like, okay, fine, Bradley, but you have to be nice to me.
I suggested your name when they were looking for people.
It's your fault, Leah. But yeah, and next year I'm suggesting your name, just FYI.
No eye-hand coordination. It's the eyes.
I could say the same. But yeah, that's the thing. We don't have it. It sucks. It feels terrible. Okay, so plan something new. I know what's new for you. You're going to look at the squat track, at the squat video.
I am going to actually.
That's new.
I'm going to look at that.
That's
Yeah.
fine. What's wrong with that? 10 minutes. It's not going to hurt that bad.
do that.
I know. All right.
What are you gonna do, Donna?
We'll come back and tell her next week.
Yeah. Okay.
How bad did it hurt? We'll text each other.
Yeah. How painful was it? Yeah. All right. Well, I think we did it.
My phone died, so I'm sitting on the floor. I've got, this much cord. So.
Oh, okay. No worries. He did show up.
Oh, yay.
I love it.
Oh, dear.
Thanks, Ryan.
Yeah. We appreciate you showing up. Yeah, it's so
I
good.
just watched the thing on Netflix with him, with, what's the guy's name? He used to do the Tonight Show, or, not Jimmy Fallon, the older guy. Dave.
Not done.
Oh, Letterman? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I love that
Yeah.
show with Letterman. I find that so
Yeah.
funny.
So he had an interview with Ryan, and it was. I admit I watched it.
You admit. Okay.
And then
That's
there's another show Jerry Seinfeld does with
yeah,
driving
commuting
cars,
cars. I
comedian.
love it. Yeah.
drinking coffee or whatever. Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty.
That's good.
Sorry, I went off topic.
That's perfect. No, that's fantastic. Well, see, you know what? I'm glad I know my audience. Brought the right guy in. Yeah, very good. Well, I hope you feel encouraged. Yeah,
Yeah.
good. And I hope that you keep going, and that you choose to be nice to yourself, and that you understand this is a long-term thing, and the lessons that we're kind of laying down as foundation is going to continue on, and we're just going to keep it going.
Sounds good.
Amazing. Well, I'll let you get on with your evenings.
Okay.
Oh, hold on just a second. Well, by YouTube. Okay, hold on 1 second. Give me a second. Don't say anything yet. No. Where the heck is my thing? Okay, there we go.